Hello and welcome to Guitar Point in Frankfurt, Germany. Today I want to talk about affordable vintage guitars. Well, is there such thing as affordable? It always depends. It depends on your wallet in the end. But of course, when it comes to old, like vintage or whatever it means, guitars, yeah, they're expensive. Most of them are expensive, especially when they're from Fender or Gibson. And when we're talking about like popular models like Les Pauls and Strats, the definition of vintage, it's always a bit difficult. Some people, old school people usually say, oh, after 1965, it became less interesting and the quality, lack of quality, the companies were sold. Gibson was sold in 1969 to Norlin and Fender was sold January 65 to CBS. So that's a fact, but it doesn't mean that anything that was built after 65 is bad or actually worse. It always depends. And when you're a Strat guy, you're lucky that there's a Strat from every year. So it's not like with the Les Paul. When they dropped the Les Paul in 1960 and they reintroduced it like 8 years later, there's a big gap that means like 300K to like 20 or 25K, whatever, which is huge. So if you want to like a 50s Les Paul, 50s spec Les Paul, it's very difficult because it's almost impossible actually, because there's just the gap is so big. So you end up looking for custom shop models or maybe later models, and yeah, but yeah, I will talk about that soon. The Strat, the good thing with the Strat is they kept building it, and so the shape was yeah, a bit different, and of course the headstock, pickups, whatever, but it's like nuances, and you can get a Strat from every year, so that there's not such a big gap. The prices drop a little bit from like the, of course, 50s and early 60s ones, but yeah, you can find your budget Strat, but still, they're still expensive. They're still like well over 10,000 euros, dollars, whatever, wherever you're looking. We're in Europe, so I'm talking euros. What do I have here? I have what I would say great alternatives, already very old guitars that are more affordable because they are in the custom shop price range. So about, I'm talking like 5,000, 6,000 euros, something like that, or even a bit less. This is a 73, if I recall correctly, Les Paul Deluxe, Gold Top Deluxe, and that's a 73 hardtail Strat. I don't have a tremolo version. I just have a very nice hardtail at the moment. So they're both very desirable. If you don't use the tremolo, the hardtail should be the way to go actually, because it's a very, very twangy, nice sounding piece. So these two guitars are in already like old, you know. They are and they aged pretty well. I mean, look at them, how clean they are. Yeah, they are great alternatives to the recent custom shop models. If you don't want the exact look, like for example a 57 or 56 Gold Top, I want to talk about the Deluxe first. The nice thing is that, I mean, that gold paint, yeah, just looks different than the new one. You have the original, like the real weather checking. You have yeah, just natural play wear, and yeah, great comfortable necks. This one isn't that thin as they sometimes are. It's a bit bigger. What did they change? Well, in '69 they came up with the three-piece mahogany neck and the volute, which is that extra piece of wood, like the snail or whatever, and the sandwich body. Well, I don't know if you can hear a difference. I don't think so actually. Like the 68 or 69s that still had the original one piece construction. But well, yeah, it's just more stable actually. The necks are more stable. The L5 always had that multiple piece neck, and yeah, of course they did it to cut cost. I mean, that's most obvious. But you still have some appointments that are, I personally think, important for the tone. You have the lightweight aluminum stop tail. You have the ABR bridge, which is mounted directly into the top. So later they came up with, in 75, with the Nashville bridge, there were metal inserts that were kind of put into the wood, and then the bridge was mounted into the metal inserts. So I think that sucks tone, yeah. So I mean, they're great guitars from 75 to whatever, from every year, but this is like old school, which we want possibly. So that's a great guitar. Of course, they have the mini humbuckers. Many people don't like the mini humbuckers because they look different, but they sound almost the same. They sound maybe like a little bit smaller, of course, as you would expect, possibly, but I'm 100% sure if you do a blind test, you will not notice. I'm sure, because they're like maybe a little bit more compressed, but I think you can tell. I think you can tell. All guitars sound different, and the mini humbuckers sound great. I will do a small demo for you, but just some random licks that you can hear what I'm talking about, because yeah, guitar videos without music is like dancing to architecture or something like that. It's stupid. So you got to hear that. This one had a Bixby installed, but the holes are filled, and it's not really a big problem. Otherwise, it's original. It's available at Guitar Point. And now I'm talking about the Strat, which is also in great shape. Important for the Strat is also the changes that happened in 74, actually, end of 74, not 75. End of 74, the pickups were not staggered anymore. They were flat. If you're a Tele guy, you would love flat pole pickups, but the Strat, I mean, they have a distinctive sound, and for sure the flat poles are less desired than the staggered ones. They already have the three-piece three-bolt neck, and the bullet truss rod, so the truss rod access is not here. It's actually an improvement, because you can adjust the truss rod without unscrewing the neck, which is a pain in the ass. I mean, we know that. And there's a neck tilt. You can also change the angle of the neck, which also could help, because usually you have the shims, like the little plastic pieces that are put here to change the neck angle if it's not really cut right. All the offset guitars have at least one or maybe two really big ones in there. So it was an improvement, but of course people like the old school way, and the neck is more tight with the 4-bolt. But yeah, that would be a 70 or 71, and that's like double the price. So this one is a great bang for the buck if you want to have a great sounding, great looking, like vibey old Strat. And I would consider both as vintage. So it's great for the player. So if you just want to have that feeling of a guitar that has been around maybe longer than you are, or maybe just as long, or whatever, that's a great alternative to a new custom shop. The new custom shops are awesome guitars. They're really great. But this is kind of more individual. So I like both. I just wanted to take the chance to show you some great examples, and now I want to plug them in and just play a few licks, then that you can hear it. And I hope you enjoy the new videos in my comfort zone here, my new comfort zone. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers from Guitar Point.